a team in the NL East that is scaring me. I know, well, obviously this should be scaring everybody because they've always been good, but the Atlanta Braves, they just bought low on Jarred Kelenic, Evan White. I think there's another guy in there. But Kelenic's a big one for me because this is obviously like a top prospect in baseball for so long. He's gotten traded twice already in his career. The Seattle times were very bad the first 2 years. Last year kind of leveled out to more of a league average, but this just feels like in my gut, I'm like, this guy is going to be an all-star now in Atlanta.
It just feels like Atlanta presses all the right buttons, right? Like it really feels like that Atlanta knows how to get the most out of their players or try to put it all together. Matt Olson was a great player before coming to Atlanta, but then he just transcended into this megastar as well and fit into that mold. So Jarred has that ability to turn it on. I think if you're encouraged, if you're a Braves fan, is that Kelenic, he was having a very solid year. And you could say that you can look at the 250 and 11 jacks on the season. But if you do remember, he broke did he break his hand during the smacking a water cooler or something? So his season, why I bring this up, was abruptly, hindered. And he even admits
and hurt his foot.
That's what it was. It was kicked, not his hand. But the point being, this was a really solid year for him. And then that happened, and it really kind of hinders that progress. And then he's on the way out. I do think it's for the Mariners, though, I don't think it's a bad deal. I believe they got Jackson Kowar back in the deal. And the reason why I remember that name so much, because he was with the Royals, and he always had some really good stuff. And I believe he has first round pedigree. First rounder, 33rd overall out of Florida. So 27 years old, could be a really good steal for Seattle, but I'm still with you, Justin. The Braves, even Evan White, that's a good flyer. He's a guy that hasn't really played much in 2 years, and granted, not a lot of success when he got up to the bigs, but the talent's there for the dude to turn it on. So, hey, we'll see, but I just feel like Atlanta knows what they're doing.
They do. Another note I had on Kelenic was just like, I saw his Instagram, like he thanked like every player, like they do like the thank you for like, he thanked the fans, he thanked his teammates, and then he thanked the Atlanta Braves organization. He conspicuously did not thank the Seattle Mariners organization, the organization that gave him all that playing time. There was a point where he was 0 for 39 and they let him ride. Like, I feel like they were pretty patient with him. They kind of let him do his thing, kind of figure it out at the big league level. To the point where his first 2 years, he hit 181 and 141. That feels like there's some bad blood there. That's probably best for all sides at that point to move on. The change of scenery, though, I have seen in Major League Baseball. Like, that is a very real phenomenon. Like the change of scenery where you're just like, you're stuck in the same spot and you're not getting it going. You got to change it up. You got to change the vibes up. And I think he's going to do that in Atlanta. It's
a real thing. And that's not just even baseball, just everyone else, just where you go, where your mind can reset. We've clean slate, and clearly I'm not going to speak on it because, who knows exactly what the hell happened there in Seattle with why was it intentional, unintentional for the post? It seems intentional. And you never want to necessarily burn a bridge by whatever's frustrating. But again, we weren't in that scenario, so we don't know exactly what went down. But what we do know is that Kelenic didn't live up to the expectation. More pressure was put onto him, and he's still a young, talented player that can go somewhere else and figure it out. And I mean, Justin, being from the Baltimore area, there is one specific pitcher that left Baltimore, and not only did he have success elsewhere, he won a Cy Young, and he also won a World Series with the Chicago Cubs, and we're talking about Jake Arrieta.